Elite sport is full of pressures on and off the field. But why is it that some athletes can overcome these pressures, whereas others crumble?
I'm Matt Shaw.
I'm Hannah Gildam-Clark.
And this is a Sports Psychologist Breakdown. Dealing with and overcoming these pressures comes down to mental resilience. But we think mental resilience has actually become a bit of a buzzword and tends to get thrown around and confused with loads of other concepts from sports psychology. So we thought we'd look at what the research actually says about what mental resilience actually is, but also how do you actually develop it.
There's some really cool research that helps to clear up what mental resilience is and how you can develop it. Here are 4 of our top tips of how to develop mental resilience. So our first top tip is to be clear on what resilience actually is. And we know that resilience is your ability to withstand those pressures and to overcome those challenges. And in athletes, it can actually be developed. So it's really important to be clear on what it is, whether you're a coach, an athlete, or another part of their support system, so that you all start from the same starting point.
Resilient athletes tend to have what we call a challenge mindset, which means they look at challenges in a more positive light and see them as hurdles to overcome rather than barriers to their performance. And what this research says is a nice way to help athletes develop their challenge mindset is to help them to learn what we call their ABCs. So the A stands for an activating event, or essentially anything that might trigger a negative mood. B stands for their beliefs. So we're going to help athletes to challenge their beliefs, particularly their unhelpful beliefs. And C stands for consequences. So what we'd do is we'd help athletes frame some situations so that they always stay with some element of perspective over what might happen, instead of thinking about all the negative things that could come because of their performances.
So tip number 3 is to brush up on those psychological skills. And these are psychological skills such as your self-awareness, so being more aware of your thoughts and your feelings, your self-talk, so talking to yourself in a helpful and positive way, and also goal setting and preparation, so focusing on those things that you know will help you get better. And ultimately, this will help athletes improve their motivation and their confidence, and they will end up more mentally resilient.
Tip number 4 is about managing an athlete's environment. And it's all well and good working on an athlete's individual resilience, but what we're really looking for is making sure athletes are in environments where they can flourish. And these environments need to be high in both challenge and support. So for example, setting really high expectations for training, but also making sure that we're there to support the athletes through this is really important. And if you can include both things in your environment, that's a recipe for success.
So there you have it. That's what mental resilience really is and how you develop it.
And of course, if you like that video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe as well for more Sports Psychologist Breakdowns.